Yeah, so he's going to the little boys' room, and you guys don't know what you're missing. I'll have to tell you. I mean, not you guys in the room, but the guys that are listening or watching on social media right now, because we're about to go live on social media. And so let's see if this thing will work. I don't know. We were talking about technology, and that technology is great if it works. And of course, it's not so great if it doesn't work. But then you realize what you've got when it comes to technology. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, when it works, it's perfect. When it doesn't work, it's like you don't realize how important electricity is until all of a sudden the power company shuts you off. And then, it's nuts, it's just nuts. Anyway, welcome everybody. This is the 160th, 160 for those people who can't hear, but are just looking at 160, baby. 160. I don't know how to assign that in real life of 160, and Brian's not here. But I wonder if I'm going to make it to, my 1060th show. That's what my goal is. But I want to welcome everybody. I am your host, Jan Landy, and I want to thank everybody that's on the panel, listening or watching wherever you are, in any immediate outlet that you get this show. And as always, I want to thank Soundbroker. So here it is. It's Soundbroker. I want to thank Soundbroker for their financial support, because believe me, they've been supporting me for a long, long time. So thanks a lot, Soundbroker. And I want to thank Mark Twain for giving me the opportunity to plagiarize his words in such a way that I created my own quote. I always thought that Mark Twain had said, it's better to keep your Better to keep your see, there you go. Better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid rather than open it and remove all doubts. He didn't really say that. He said something along those lines, and I am the one who fine-tuned it. So there you go. I'm impressed. I should have kept my mouth shut. Oh, sorry. All right. Anyway, moving on. So today I was talking to somebody on the phone, really nice guy. And I was doing something for him that I don't normally do. I don't remember what it was. I was being nice. I think that's what it was. I was being nice. And so I said to him, I don't care about everybody like I care about you. And he says, that's a slogan for a t-shirt. Yeah. So, hey, Wayne, I don't care about everybody like I care about you. That's for sure. So all the rest of the guys, out of here, but I do care about everybody. Hey, and Bruce Fallis is in the room, ladies and gentlemen, live from Los Angeles, California. And we have David Dansky live from Los Angeles, California. Greg Baker is in the room, ladies and gentlemen, from somewhere in Florida.
Yep.
Where in Florida?
Dunedin, north of Clearwater.
And visiting us all the way from down south, and I'm not talking south of Florida like the Keys, I'm talking way, way south, to Wagga Wagga, Australia. There you go. And these, with you guys in the room, I feel like a man amongst men. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. It's really good to have you in the room. So anyway, Florida, Las Vegas, what do we have in common? Ooh, Las Vegas just became the Stanley Cup winners of the world. Did anybody see that game?
No, I forgot.
It was really good. I don't watch hockey as a rule, or even not as a rule. I don't watch hockey. But the Vegas Knights, in just their 6th season in the National Hockey League, won the franchise Stanley Cup 9-3. I mean, it was pretty cool to watch it, But one thing I realized, and I don't know if this is a fact or something I'm making up, maybe Tina could answer this question. Is it a prerequisite to have a beard in order to play hockey?
I guess that's
you have to have something so the puck doesn't bounce directly off your face. A little cushioning.
It's a little protection.
Yeah. And another big winner.
You see the same thing in baseball, and you see it in football when they're on a run. And you see it in what we call in America, Wayne, soccer, which is football there. Yeah, they grow a beard on a superstition.
Yeah, and the other thing is I'm wondering if it's a prerequisite to have tattoos in order to play in the NBA. I'm just wondering if that's the case as well, because by the way, Denver Nuggets, they won the first NBA championship title in Game 5 over the Miami Heat. So did anybody follow that game?
I did. And did you notice that the player of the series, whatever, the guy from Eastern Europe,
Serbia,
didn't have a tattoo?
No way.
No, he doesn't.
And they allowed him to play?
Yep.
Well,
Maybe he has a hidden tattoo. Maybe it's somewhere where the sun don't shine, where his tattoo is. We don't know. Nobody's ever seen that far below.
Stop talking about yourself, Jan. Okay,
Yes,
let's move on.
Hey, Novak Djokovic, he won. He's now the 23rd. He has 23 Grand Slam titles. That's very impressive. That's compared to my 0 Grand Slam titles. Anybody see that?
By the way, on that subject, Jan, on right now on YouTube TV, which is my provider,
Very good provider.
There is a channel called the Professional Pickleball League.
And you know who owns that Professional Pickleball League?
Who?
I believe it's Michael Jordan. I believe Michael Jordan owns the league. I'm not 100% sure. Do your own research. Oh, I forgot to say this.
Oh, Tom Brady owns one.
Yeah. Everything you hear today is an opinion, so make sure you do your own research, okay? There you go. There's a disclaimer for the day. Tom Brady, hey? He looked good. He was there watching Novak win the title. He was with Novak's wife. Not that we're starting any rumors right now. It's true. I saw it on TV, That's it. So, speaking of sports,
he was also called out for wearing a $300,000 Rolex watch, of which there's only 26 in the world.
Who?
Brady.
Why? He can afford it. See, Jan, he can afford it. Why can't he buy it?
Why on earth would you do that?
Doesn't he do Rolex ads?
No,
Yeah.
IWC. He does IWC.
Oh.
Is an IWC guy.
The insurance has got to be, off the roof.
Well, at least
Are you sure it was a Rolex and not an IWC? Because IWC watches are quite expensive.
No, it was a Rolex. It was a Arabic Rolex. All the numbers on the face of the watch are in Arabic, and then when it's time to pray, the watch.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
the one with the green dial, and it's it's platinum.
Yep.
Did you say that when it's time to pray, the watch turns to the east?
No. No.
No. All right.
The second hand does. Yes.
The second hand turns to the east.
Towards Mecca?
Well, speaking of which, if anybody's looking to buy a watch,
It is.
Yeah,
I've
that's
got
pretty.
one for sale.
I like that blue.
Yeah, it's a beautiful watch.
Tell them about the watch.
It's called an IWC Portuguesa, and it used to be one of the top of the line for their watches. When you'd walk into the store, the IWC store, they would have a plexiglass showcase that was on the wall, like framed, and they would have their Portuguesa. This watch would be in that case, and you wouldn't be able to touch it without wearing gloves. So there you go. Very convenient. Anyway, hey, so the other thing that we're going to talk about is the PGA Tour. I mean, could you believe what just happened with the PGA?
I caught the end of it. What happened?
So the PGA
I saw
merged with the
upset.
Saudi-backed Live Golf tournament.
No.
So basically, it is a heated rivalry. And basically what happened is they went in the beginning when they won. I mean, of course, it's proven fact that the Saudis killed the reporter from the Washington Post. Yeah. And they, of course, women, they don't treat women very fairly and all that stuff over there.
Do they say live? Do they call it live golf?
LIV, live golf.
It's the numbers in Roman 54. 54 golf. That's what it is.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
See, you've learned something today, even if you didn't know you were planning on learning something today by coming here today to watch. So there you go.
It's called 54 golf because the score, if every hole on a par 72 course were birdied, it'd be 54.
It's hard to believe that they're clever like that, but they can come up with something like that. You've just made them very clever, Tina, or either that or you're very clever and you've come up with something that they should know about that they don't.
The bottom line, Jan, is that
money. That's the bottom line.
Exactly.
Money. It's a fortune that they, but the reality is that there is a fortune there, and Tiger Woods, when they originally proposed, some of the people split up and went to the Saudis. They asked Tiger Woods not to play, and he gave up $800 million. And a bunch of players didn't play. And then all of a sudden, behind their back, the PGA makes a deal with them. And after, telling all their players not to play, all of a sudden, they screw everybody over. So I'm not really a big fan of the PGA right now. And I'm sure there's a lot of people feeling exactly the way I feel,
Yeah, because I was seeing the news footage, but my TV was on silent, but it was about the PGA Tour and all the guys were really upset. I didn't get to listen to what was going on.
Yeah.
But I just saw the word betrayal of PGA Tour management.
Oh, absolutely. It's a big betrayal to the people that stood up for them, big betrayal. And anyway, another group of people that are very unhappy are New Yorkers right now because Billy Joel will stop performing. Billy Joel is no longer going to do his Madison Square Garden residency. He stops next year in 2024. I mean, what a run that guy's had. Isn't that amazing?
Do you know how many times he's played there?
No.
I think it's 154 times.
That's amazing. That'll be a record hard to break.
Yeah, impossible to break.
Is he officially retiring?
No, he's just not playing those shows.
He's not going there anymore.
Once a month, he would play at the Madison Square Garden for 10 years.
Wow.
Or more.
Yeah, the union's going to be local ISD, local one is going to be unhappy about it.
Oh,
yeah, it'll be a lot less gigs over there, but they'll. I'm not worried about MSG. I'm worried about eating MSG in my food, but as far as the events go at Madison Square Garden, I'm not too worried about them. I'll tell you another person who's given it up right now after 41 years of doing the show. Pat Sajak. After 41 years, I should be able to pronounce his name. But Wheel of Fortune. Pat Sajak is retiring. Isn't that not amazing? I don't know about you, but Wheel of Fortune. I love it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. He's had a long run.
Yeah, 41 years. That's almost longer than I've been born.
Yeah.
Or so I wish.
Almost.
Longer than you've been born.
Ballpark.
It took him how long to pull you out, huh?
Yeah. Ballpark. Yeah.
Oh, you're too funny.
What else is going on in the world? Oh, I know. Speaking of youngsters, Al Pacino is he's turning 83 and he's going to have a baby with a 29-year-old girlfriend. So congratulations, Al Pacino, setting the way for all of us old timers that thought we might never have a child. Now there's a possibility because Al Pacino is doing it. Why not? 83 years old. Having a child at 83 is, in my opinion, is really an excess in life and really unfair to the child. Don't you think?
Yes.
But what I have to say is, y'all New Yorkers,
What's that got to do with it?
Yeah, right.
No, it's just ego.
No, now when somebody says to him, hey, he really means it when he says, are you talking to me? Because he could hardly hear now, so, are you talking to me? Hey, what? Hey, you talking to me? You talking to me? Oh no, that's Robert De Niro, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the same. So what?
Yeah, same.
And meanwhile, I'm
So-
sure his girlfriend wanted to have a baby, and he went, "Okay, I got the money." You take
Yeah, I guess he sure does have the money, man. I'll tell you another guy who's got money is Johnny Depp. Johnny
Yeah.
Depp, are you guys familiar with what happened with him and that woman Heard?
Amber
What
Heard.
was her name?
Amber.
Yeah, Amber.
Amber Heard, right? Amber Heard?
He stood up to her and won, right?
Right. He won $1 million.
Good for him.
$1 million
He's
bucks.
giving it away.
He's giving it away. He's chosen charities that he's going to donate the whole $1 million settlement that he won from Amber. And basically he confirmed that he's giving it in the air of the 5 charities, in case you know, Make a Film Foundation, The Painted Turtle, Red Feather, Marlon Brando's, and I'm sure I'm not going to pronounce this right, Terraroa Society Charity, and the Amazonia Fund Alliance. So he's giving it the money, $200,000 to each.
Cool.
Good.
So, you know.
Oh, wow.
And speaking
Roland,
of,
we haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I've been incapacitated. Had back surgery, and it affected my left leg. They hit a nerve.
oh my God, tell us about it, or if you want.
No, I was in the hospital for 30 days using a walker, and now I'm using a cane, but I'm still hobbling around and not very stable on my feet.
Well, at least you're able to smile now. I remember back pain. I remember I had to have a double hemilaminectomy. What kind of surgery did you have? What did they call it?
I think it was a laminectomy. So it was supposed to be very simple, 3 days out of the hospital. And I ended up staying 30 days and having blood clots. But the reason I'm smiling is my girlfriend that I live with.
Oh, we can only see it from the waist up. Let's not go there. It's some people, there's some youngsters watching the show, I'm sure, trying to learn something about sound and lights, Of course, they've tuned to the wrong show for that. But anyway,
All right, so Jan, my big question is, where are you? Because that doesn't look like your normal background, your Thailand background. Are you back?
Funny thing is, that is his normal background.
Well, usually there's a window behind him. It looks like he's in a different office with a window behind him, and he's got a bookcase behind him now.
Well, this is before you joined us. Then this was the original background because I'm in Las Vegas.
I was going to say, it looks like Las Vegas. Yeah. Wow.
No, I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico on the Tanawan Golf Course.
Oh,
Wow.
what hole are
Nice.
you at? I see it out there. What hole
What's
is that?
par on that course?
Trying to get David to come visit, but
Yeah.
he travels to Tokyo, but he won't come to Albuquerque.
Oh, I'm so spoiled.
Hey, Sam, are those ball-proof glasses?
It's actually a very large tree that stops 99% of all balls. It's a par 5, and I'm on the second shot if you're a really good golfer.
There you go. So that would be like, by then I would already be at par 5 by the time I got to your window, But I have a lot of jokes for the course, so I got enough to make it. I can go through there with, I have about 18 jokes that I space out throughout the court. If you ever play golf with me, you'll get to hear them all, So there's an article now in the New York Times. I believe it's the New York Times. Yeah. They're saying that noise can damage your heart as well as your hearing, but there's ways to measure exposure and reduce your risk. As a general rule of thumb, the World Health Organization considers average road noise levels to be 53 decibels and the average aircraft noise levels above 45 dB to be associated with adverse health outcomes. Through their metrics are weighted slightly different than the average of your screen. Nighttime noise is considered particularly more harmful because it can fragment your sleep and prompt a stress response. So even if you don't remember waking up, the WHO has long recommended that you get less than 30 dB of nighttime noise inside your bedroom for high quality sleep. So has anybody, all you engineers, has anybody DB'd your room to see what kind of noise you got?
My room's very quiet.
Also another article out there where a organization in Finland has they're waiting for governmental approval, but they can replace all the damaged hairs in your ears and restore hearing from all those people from the 70s and 80s.
So how true is this?
It is true. Look at Robert S.'s post on Facebook, David.
Robert who?
Scoville posted that?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Normally I would say you can't believe everything you read. That's why I go through stop signs. However, in this case, if Scoville says it, it's got to be true.
Well, at least it's a glimmer of hope, put it that way.
That would be nice.
Yeah, just go ahead and search him, and you'll see the link.
Well, can you believe it is what is the name of the show. Can you believe it is what I want to know. Can you believe it?
What? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, can you believe it? I can't
hope so.
hear you.
Yeah.
So, Jan, I heard the other day, I can't
hear you.
No.
I heard the other day that I only saw the end bit on the news, but they did an experiment where an office building, like it might have been a marketplace or whatever, they decided to turn all the noise off, all the background noise and for whatever, just to do an experiment. And everyone was more relaxed. And
where was this?
It was in
Bizarro World. Was this Bizarro World?
No,
the Superman planet.
No, they just did an experiment, and it was on the news the other day, but I can't remember exactly where it was. But they did and it was a big company doing, but they turned all the background noise. I think they even turned a lot of the bright downlights and just to see whether the people were more relaxed at work. That's basically what it was about. But they said it worked. So I don't know whether that's got anything to do with sound messing with your vibrations.
I'm in corporate buildings. I've installed white noise speakers. We're talking about buildings with all the cubicles and all that. You put white noise frequency. You blast it. From at low volume from the ceiling tiles out of phase. And you won't believe, they're talking about 40% more productivity from the people. It's significant.
So the white noise they were doing inverted, what was it blocking out? Just
it's the air conditioners, people talking, amongst themselves. You can't hear the person in the next cubicle. It's pretty effective.
Yeah. But wouldn't that join somewhere? So if you had those bunch of frequencies and you walk somewhere,
it diffuses before it gets to it. Yeah,
it's interesting. I work at Vinnie's 2 days a week, and they've got the little radio going, and they've got that the distributed speakers everywhere. And some spots, the 800 to 2K they just sum like hell, and then you go other spots and they're not there. Right. So if they put white noise in there, I would have thought.
Yeah, you froze there.
No, not really. Did you? Is he frozen? Did he get into the freezer again? Unbelievable.
Anyway, it's interesting stuff, all that. But I know they have done experiments with that. They and I think I've mentioned it before. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've been told that if you put quite a few low frequencies, like inaudible low frequencies, in a room, the people can't sit still after a while. Maybe they do that to the Mythbusters and see if they can prove it wrong or right.
Another thing you could do is experience like really low frequencies and see how many people shit in their pants. It's
right.
You can experiment with that, Wayne, down there as well.
They've done that one.
Remember years ago, the earthquake movie? That was the beginning of subwoofers.
Yeah, A1 Audio put the subs in the Chinese for that.
Right.
And I thought it was hip hop music that did it. Unbelievable.
No.
See?
But maybe it was a musical instrument many years ago, long before audio was invented.
Pipe organs.
That's right. Long before audio was invented, when Mel Brooks was only a 2,000-year-old man. That's when they were invented. I think he invented it, is actually.
No, those big old church organs, don't they go down to 16 hertz?
Oh, yeah. Big time. And, Wayne, my gig with these guys, I was tasked to capture, 6 hertz and try and capture that. And then all the fun, that's the fundamental, and then all the harmonics above it.
Yeah.
There was no microphone that could do it. We had to use seismic recorders.
Have you heard that, like playing Mozart and Beethoven music in the background when you're learning things and enhances your learning ability?
I have. No, I don't know.
I don't think it. It's not the composer. I think music by itself in the background, produces endorphins in your brain to go ahead and seek more.
No, actually, if you Google this, and somebody I'm sure will Google this, that they somehow the music of Mozart and Beethoven stimulates your brain into learning. If you play the music in the background while you're trying to learn something, you would be able to. It'll help you learn it. Now, I guess it's a little harder to tap your foot to the music. Sometimes I listen to music and I'll tap my foot. But I wonder how hard it is. I never thought about it, but I don't think that when I listen to Mozart or Beethoven, I tap my foot along with the music. Interesting.
Maybe it's just the frequency it's on, because some frequencies are bad frequencies.
Yeah.
Like
So does anyone-
You see, I mean, how do you tap your foot to that? I guess don't do it while you're driving the car. Okay.
All right. So I have to get off in about 10 minutes.
Well,
So I
like to get off a lot more often than that, but okay.
In 10 minutes. That's just the first one.
Jan,
I'm feeling really good being back in Vegas. It's the air, I tell you. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except on this show.
right.
David, tell us about your trip. And the towns you visited.
Well, first, David has to get off. I want to hear more about this. What does David got to say for himself?
Well, I was going to talk about the Hotel California band that I'm working with.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
So just to start, because everybody here already knows, I'm working with a tribute band called Hotel California, A Salute to the Eagles. They're the oldest Eagles tribute band, and they're the only one that's been certified or allowed to play the Eagles music with permission from the Eagles. And they're great. They're great musicians, and they're very interesting because they're a well-oiled machine. And what they do is they carry a digital console for monitors. They carry their own wireless headset mics. They carry their own in-ear transmitters and receivers, and they carry their own microphones, And they always place the same mic in the same place so that this mix that they have on their in-ear monitor board never has to change. The gains are set, the locations are right, the sound is the same. So they come in and they can set up their entire show in 2 hours, do a sound check, and be ready to go in less than 3 hours. And they have a fan out of 32 inputs that go to the front of house board. It's really brilliant how they make it work. So
that was my question. Yeah, how do they split it out? It's inputs, or is it an output from the digital port?
No, the inputs go into a splitter, but they're about to change that. They were in an LS9, and they just bought today through Mr. Landy a QL1. And with all the output cards they can stick in the slots and all that other stuff, they can get their 32 out and their 32 in. And at some point they'll be fully Dante networked with the. They have to buy mics and IEMs now to upgrade that too. But at some point, it's all going to be totally internal. Really cool, and they'll have a fan out for front of house.
So, David, I did a show with a band for a corporate thing. It was the Virgin Airlines launch, and the band, we did like 6 different cities around the country, and the band had their own monitor console, and they did not have a monitor guy, and they gave me 32 inputs to front of house.
Right.
And the monitor console sat next to the guitar player, facing him on the stage, and they, like you said, they set everything up the same way with their road crew and everything, and they mixed their own monitors because they were all in-ears, and they had these little. They just walked over to the console when they set their mixes, changed anything they needed to change, and off they went. And it was really. They really
did
good
it
at
from the console, Bruce. They went to the console and did it, and they didn't have individual mix pads like what is it?
No, that was before mix pads. This is an analog console. The rack, it had a bunch of EQs in it that basically stayed the same because they were all wearing in-ears, so they didn't need much EQ. And it was a Yamaha 1800 and a 32 channel 1800, and I had a 3K at front of house. And they just walked. The board sat right on the stage next to the guitar player, and they did their own. It was the funniest thing, man. But it worked so well because they were good at it. I mean, they knew what they wanted. They knew how to get it.
Well, in this case, George, the guy who runs the band, owns the band, is a guitar player, drives the bus. I mean, he's really a great guy. He doesn't want them screwing with the mixes.
Yeah, the guitar player,
individual ones. He wants them to focus on the music. So that board is off stage right or stage left, depending on where the house box is, and nobody touches it. But they carry their own mics and everything, so they don't have to touch a thing.
Yeah,
it's all set.
I was surprised at how well it worked because it was analog when I did it, and it worked really well.
Yeah, and now it works even better.
Yeah, I'm sure they got. Yeah. They don't have to carry racks of crap anymore. They just park the console next to the stage.
Everything fits. Everything fits under the bus. No trailer.
Wow.
And that's like 17 guitars and all the amps and the drums and the keyboards and everything.
So you're touring with them?
Yeah, I'm touring.
How fun.
I just did a 10-day tour, and I'm going back out again in a week and a half for another 10-day tour.
Right. You're slated to play at Ruth Eckerd Hall, if memory serves correctly, late August or early September.
Right.
So,
see, I'm with them all the time until I have to leave them, which is mid-August.
Oh.
I've got other stuff to do, and I'm only replacing their sound guy who fell out of a tree, so hopefully he'll be back because he broke a few things. But in any case, I saw on the schedule where they're at Ruth Eckerd, and you should go. I'll give you the name of who to talk to.
Yeah, definitely.
They're really good.
Dave, I remember someone. Excuse me for 1 second, Greg. I remember a sound engineer that fell out of the sky once and broke both his mixing hands.
That would be me. In a hang glider. Yeah, I did. I had 2 casts on my hands.
And you were mixing a show, right? You were having trouble turning the rotary knob.
I could mix the show with 2 fingers with no pain. The minute I tried a third finger, it hurt like hell. So I was a four finger mixer.
Who were you with at that? I forgot who you were out with at that time.
That was Sandy Duncan, who had done the Peter Pan on Broadway and stuff, and she had never done a nightclub act. So this is the first time she had a microphone in her hand. So she was really nervous, and she had never done it before. And she needs
That's a good sound effect. Whoever put that in, the harp.
Yeah, what was
That
that?
was my alarm. I'm supposed to leave. She saw me with
Good
two
timing.
cats in my hands, and she turned white. What the hell? This is my first time. I'm really nervous. And when it was all over, she signed a picture to me and says, "It's a good thing you did a great job, or I would have broken both your legs too."
What a nice lady.
She was a sweetheart. So that's when I was living in Tahoe and decided to go hang gliding. I had a hang glider. We used to carry it on the road with us when I was out with Neil Sedaka. The two of us had two hang gliders, two idiots. He the year before that, he snapped his arms. I just cracked and dislocated.
Who, Neil Sedaka was hang gliding?
Yeah, and then his monitor mixer was with him. His monitor mixer snapped both his radiuses, hang gliding on the same hill I was on. I should have learned, but no. Anyway.
David, I thought I was crazy driving go-karts around stadiums, with Aerosmith. Holy crap, man, you're way ahead of me.
We went and bought special gliders where the 20-foot leading edge would break down into 11 feet. So we only had to deal with an 11-foot bag of hang gliding. And then we would rent cars and just go find a hill we could walk up and fly down, and walk up and fly down. And then I decided I was better than I was, and I wasn't anymore. That was the end of it.
The price of fun. The price of fun, David.
So I am going to fly. I'm flying out.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody.
David,
I'll see you maybe next week.
Before you go,
Have a great week.
On Facebook for the Eckerd gig. All right.
Oh, yeah. I want to check that. I want to check out.
Yeah, and make sure you tag yourself in on the show. If you're on the panel, tag yourself. That you have nothing to be embarrassed about. Tag yourself and give us a thumbs up. We'll get more people coming in. It's a lot more fun with more people to make fun of.
Well, make fun of me. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
All right. Take care.
Bye, David.
Bye,
Do
Dave.
me a favor.
What?
Do me a favor. Call George and tell him that I will call him as soon as the show's over.
Okay.
I didn't.
You got it. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Dave.
And also, I forgot to tell him I'm going to be with Kenny Newman tonight. We're going to, guess where he wants to take me out to a special dinner. And so we're going to, what's that chicken place, Tina, that we used to go to? I got mental block on it. Not crispy chicken. What's that chicken place, Tina?
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A. That's it. Chick-fil-A.
Kenny's
Every
taking
night
you
is a
to
religious
food.
experience there. That's what they say.
Kenny's
religious
taking you
experience.
to fast food?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
He's on a budget. He's on a budget.
Is he still in his residency there?
With Manilow, yeah, Manilow's birthday's coming up. I think he's going to turn 80 years old, and so their drummer couldn't make the shows, so they've got a drummer that used to play with him 20 years ago is come back to play.
So I'm coming to Vegas on Saturday.
Say that again.
I'm coming to Vegas on Saturday. I'll be there for the week.
Well, then we'll get together. You and I will actually see each other in the flesh. In the flesh. Let's go to some place where, like a steam room or something. That way we can see all of each other.
Oh, Lord. TMI, Jan. TMI.
Hey, Greg, this is where the humor happens here, and this is it. Yeah, so basically, yeah, absolutely. Let's get together. Where are you staying?
I think we're staying at Harrah's. We're working at the Caesars Forum Convention Hall, sort of behind Harrah's right there.
Can you tell us what the job is?
Well, it's called CCW, and I have no freaking idea what that means.
CCW.
It's a convention.
That's like a concealed carry permit or something.
It's a general session for some big convention. It's like 3,000 in the audience, and they're gonna, talking heads.
So we'll have time for dinner.
I don't know. It depends on the rehearsal schedule, and it depends on. I won't really know for sure till we get going.
Okay, very good.
But I won't forget. Hopefully,
I
yeah.
won't forget. Yes, I know
Yeah.
you'll hold a.
It's Premier Customer
Jan
Contact
buys
Week.
at Bacchanal for you, Bruce. That's what I say.
What was that?
Jan buys at Bacchanal for you. That's what I say.
I'll tell you a funny story. At least it's funny to me. So I had some
Oh,
friends.
I'm going to show up if he goes to Bacchanal.
I want to take him. I want to take him to Fausto Tacos. That's really good. Or maybe we'll just join Kenny at Chick-fil-A. What can I say?
I'll have I'm driving out, so I can meet you anywhere.
Yeah. So Kenny says the same thing. He says we can meet anywhere, but let's meet at the Chick-fil-A across the street from the hotel. I said, Kenny, you got a car? We can go anywhere. No, Chick-fil-A. It's Chick-fil-A night tonight. So I guess he has a way of.
It's going to cost you more in parking.
What?
To park your car near the Chick-fil-A across from his hotel?
I don't know where he's going to. I'm sure Chick-fil-A has a parking lot.
I doubt there's a Chick-fil-A on
up and take him to one that does
on the strip.
Yeah, I haven't been to the strip yet since I've been back.
Well, there actually is a Chick-fil-A on the strip that they built a couple years ago, but
really,
yeah, it's on the south part of the strip, near the 215 freeway, right on the corner. They built a Chick-fil-A and a Starbucks.
Holy cow! Wow, isn't that funny?
Yeah, there's one on. Are you familiar with the Chick-fil-A on Sahara?
Yes, it's on Sahara and Rancho Drive.
Okay, so so that's off the strip. So that means that they do have parking.
Yes, they have parking there.
Oh, there you go.
So they have a lot of parking at that one.
So now I'm no longer worried. Phew, what a load that is off my mind. Yeah, could you believe it? That's it. That's again the show title. Can you believe it? That's it. So moving right along with the stories that I want to talk about. Can you believe it? I'm surprised he didn't take me to the 7-Eleven because the Slurpee has just had a makeover. Don't worry, folks. The recipe isn't changing, just the cups. Beginning Monday, the new look will include eccentric colors, electric vibes, and it feature the Slurpee logo of a big S. How clever. S for Slurpee. I never would have thought of that myself.
If I didn't know better, I would have thought the 7-Eleven paid you for that drop. Commercial drop.
No, there's nobody's paying me for anything right now. There's no political paid announcements right now. But speaking of political, Illinois just outlawed book banning in public, which is the opposite of the red states. The red states are banning books like crazy. And now Illinois has a law that no book can be banned from public libraries. And I think that is spectacular.
They're not banning books.
And there you go.
They're not banning books.
What do you mean they're not banning books? They're banning books in Florida.
No, they're not. You people sometimes...
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They're stopping sexually explicit books from being offered in the libraries of elementary schools. That's it. Read the goddamn thing. That's it.
Well, excuse me.
You can walk in any public library and get any book you want.
I just want to say right now, just remember everything you hear now is an opinion. Okay, that's it. It's this opinion show. So let him say whatever he wants.
My cousin lives there. They're not banning books.
In Dunedin, Florida, they removed 126 books from their shelf, my local public library, because they didn't want to get sued. All right. That's their choice. They weren't told to remove it.
There you go. That's their choice.
They were afraid of being sued. So it unequivocally, it's the same thing.
Listen, you could look at California. You could be sued for anything here. So
right.
The
libraries only have so much money.
Well, as they say, you can sue a ham sandwich if you want.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're going to win.
Right.
Unless you're in California.
I think you're right in the sense that the word banned is incorrect, but the prospect of all of the fervor over all this has has trickled down to where people just don't want to do it. I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird, according to the state of Florida, is unacceptable.
It has to do with race, and that's all what it has to do with. It has to do with their and I forgot what it is. It's being woke or CRT or something along those lines. I can't remember right now. Creative race theory. That's what it is. Is that what it's called? Creative race theory?
CRT.
What does it mean?
I knew 10 minutes ago. It just escaped me.
Yeah, you see, and that's the problem. We don't know.
I know. I just don't know right this second. I'm getting old.
Well, there you go. You can explain. What does it mean to be woke? What does it really mean to be woke? Is the question. Now that should be that should be the show title instead of "Can you believe it?" But what does it mean to be woke?
It's critical race theory.
That's it. Critical race theory. So you see, and they're trying to change that as well. If you want my opinion, and of course nobody's asked for my opinion, so I'm willing to give it. That's it. Basically it's come down to we're heading into race wars. I mean, that's all there is to it. There is more right now anti-Semitism than ever before. There's more racial violence than ever before, or well, maybe not ever before. I'm sure in the days of the Egyptians, where, the Jews were slaves, I'm sure there was a lot going on there, more than today. I'm sure in the days of slavery, there was a lot more critical race theory going on then than there is today. But still, nonetheless, it's still around. There's more Nazi presentations going on and rallies than ever before. Except, of course, during the days of the Nazis. So basically, this is the time where people are really frustrated about life. They're getting too much information from one source and not all the sources. And we are definitely being split apart as a people. And that's a shame that's happening right now.
Yeah,
but as they say, you divide to conquer.
People going to Disney World, where they were greeted at the entrance to the Disney property, 30 people waving Nazi flags and lauding the current governor. What does it say to the little kids, who just want to go and see, Tinkerbell or Ariel or whatever they're looking for, and then they see, Nazi flags on the way in.
I don't understand
why people attack or use their liberties to do this in front of kids. Like,
Exactly.
They choose to shoot up elementaries. They choose, everything is done. Why the kids? Why not leave them alone?
Leave them alone. Yes.
I have to prove a point at Disney World.
Agreed.
That's crazy. Like, why are you there at Disney World? Those kids don't even know what that is.
In Albuquerque,
All they see is hate.
is under the gun for turning down a Native American who had long hair, and their use was the way he looked was not appropriate for Chick-fil-A. There you go.
Well, that's what I'm saying right now. There's a lot of opinions out there floating around, and that's because people are getting their information from one source, believing that source, believing it to be true, and then there are other people believing from another source, believing it to be true, and then of course there is the problem in that respect that who's right? Who's right? And the question is are there facts anymore? Do the facts mean anything? You listen to let's just say MSNBC, you hear one side of the story. You listen to CNN, you hear another side of the story. You listen to Fox, you hear a third side of the story. And if you listen to the ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, whatever news, it's everybody has a different take and a different twist on it. It's not the same as it used to be when I was growing up, where there were only three networks: CBS, ABC, and NBC. Everybody got their news from the same sources. Now, not so much, But the problem is that a lot of people are getting the wrong news, and they are believing it to be true because it's being force-fed to them because they don't go anywhere else because they enjoy what they hear. And that's all there is to it. And until we figure out a solution to that, we're just going to get more and more divided as a people. And that is the idea behind the people that are politicians. They want people divided so that they could conquer. Period. End of story. Divide and conquer. United we stand, divided we fall. And that is not an opinion of mine. I believe that is an opinion of every dictator ever that lived.
Wade, what is it like there in Australia?
What do you mean? What is it like here in Australia?
Well, as far as us versus them politics.
Oh, I don't really follow politics, but I think politics is pretty much in a capitalist society. It's pretty much the same as most places. There's always, well, I suppose you could say, I could go into a few stories, but there's a thing, I don't know enough about it, but the Aboriginals at the moment want a voice in Parliament. And I can't see any problem with that, but I can't see with the problem why they just don't get a candidate and that candidate gets elected and they've always, I think anyone can have a voice in Parliament if they get voted in a democratic society. But Australia's not, I always go for this. We live in a great country in Australia and we should go for celebrating the fact that we do that, and instead of dividing everyone, because if there's too much division, it just ends up everyone argues amongst it and no one achieves anything, I should say, or the most powerful speaker wins and the others all fall off and then half the population's unhappy, isn't it? I don't know the answer to all that stuff, but I certainly think in Australia there's only 25 million of us. It would be good if we just don't divide ourselves. Is that ever a possibility? I don't think so.
Well, every society has those people in the society that some people don't like, whatever society is. In China, they have the Uyghurs, just for an example, But,
well, everyone doesn't think the same either. Nobody thinks but I don't know if there's an answer to it. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I just like the idea of the democratic society where you vote for the people that are candidates are put up, and then once they're elected, even if it's only a very small majority, for 3 years or whatever that period of time that they're in, it would be good if you just accepted that for that 3 years. Do you think that's a good scenario? So even if the person doesn't get in that you want in politics, you just have to accept that in a democratic society for whatever the period of time.
Okay. Here's one of the most controversial subjects
yes, we should.
Everywhere in the world, and that is abortion. That's abortion. So the right wing in our society believe that they are completely anti-abortion, no matter what. Even if you were raped or incest, doesn't matter, even to the detriment of the life of the mother. That is unfortunate, but that's where it's at. And then the other side believes that, that the woman has a right to choose the own destiny of her body. And of course, they take that to the extreme, whereas, can a woman end a pregnancy up to 9 months, which of course I would think that would be murder. And in reality, but the question is when does a baby become a baby? When does it become a real human being? And that subject is going to be open for debate no matter what. And so you have a politician that are going in there and saying, "Hey, look, we are going to outlaw anything that has to do with a woman's right to choose in that respect, including an abortion pill or birth control. We don't want him to have a choice of birth control." And that, I think, is wrong. So when you get somebody in office like that has such a different belief than what you have, it's whether you believe it or not, then all of a sudden it becomes a real sticking point for you, and it's really hard to justify that person is representing you. You know, I mean, we have a person here in the United States called Marjorie Taylor Greene. I just can't understand how the people of her district in Georgia voted her in. I don't get it. But she's there, you know. I'll give you another example of somebody who I can't believe is in office in the United States. This guy, Santos, out of New York.
No kidding.
He lied about everything about who he is. There's nothing that we know about this guy when he ran that was true. Everything he said was a complete lie. And yet this guy is right now sitting in Congress as a legitimate congressman in the United States Congress because the Republicans need his vote.
And if he gets busted for all the stuff that he did with all the facts, it's going to be portrayed as the Department of Injustice, doing a political hit job.
Yeah. I mean, look, some people, not everybody agrees with my train of thought, you know, and some people believe what they believe, and I believe that they have the right to believe what they believe, and they might be even right. I mean, like, for example, what Bruce said about what his belief in regards to what's happening in Florida. You know, he might be right. I don't know. He might be 100%. He could be 100% right. You know, Greg could be, you know, because Bruce might be getting his news from somewhere else, but he hasn't walked inside the schoolroom. He hasn't been inside, and neither is Greg, and neither is I. So until you see it with your own two eyes, what's real?
I respect everybody else's opinion and actions as long as they do not impinge upon other people's actions and beliefs. I'm a preacher's kid. But the greatest thing my dad taught me was listen, respect, and state your piece. And they are better than you, and you are better than them. So in other words, we're even.
If everybody had that belief, Greg, the world would be a better place to live.
Greg, I'm in the same boat as you too, Greg. My dad's an assistant pastor, and he always told me, he goes, hey, you know, it's okay to believe whatever you want to believe, you know, and I live by the belief, hey, whatever you want to believe and the way you want to live is fine, as long as I can live and believe the way I want to live, not, you know, try to shove your, whatever down my throat or whatever. That's how I live.
Yeah, I think that's the golden rule, right? He who has the gold makes the rules. Is that it? Oh, no, that's different. That's a different rule. Basically, the golden rule is do unto others as you would have others do unto yourself, right? But that's really not really true. I heard it a little bit differently, and I really like this method of the golden rule. The golden rule should be do unto others as they would like to have themselves done unto. How do you like them apples? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? What the hell? Yeah.
All I'm saying is be open to all avenues.
Right. So, Bruce, did I just lose a dinner?
No.
You know, I mean, really, the reality is like there's just so much.
I don't care what anybody else does. But, you know, people got to get their stories straight. You know, that's the only.
Well, that's the problem.
Everybody has their truth. And I got news for you. There's only one truth. You can believe whatever the hell you want, but there's only, you know. And I have such a problem with people talking about what other people think. Like everybody's got their impression on what the Republicans think or what the Democrats think. And half the time they don't even get the story right. And it's so annoying. I just can't even believe it.
You know what? I agree with you completely. And I think everybody in the room would agree with you, except for maybe Wayne. But then again, I don't know what Wayne's thinking.
Here's a little example with the abortion thing. And my wife's got to hang up about this too. I said, the very far right wing and the evangelicals want to get rid of abortion completely. The Republicans don't generally think that way. They think it should be allowed up to a certain point, but not at 9 months. I agree with you. we agree with you. You don't abort a baby 10 minutes before it's born. You just don't do that. And
exactly.
And that's what they're trying to do here in California. They want to be able to get abortion up until the last minute. And I don't agree with that at all, And
you know what? I'm going to go on record saying I don't agree with that at all either. Yeah. I think that even though I don't know if it's a real human being.
The funny thing is we all in this room probably think along the same lines. But the problem is we get fed bullshit from all these places that make us think that the other sides are doing all these crazy things. And then they're not necessarily, So,
right. The question is, Bruce, is where is that middle point that we all agree?
And you know what? I got a little news for you. The government wants this to happen. They want us to get split up. This is what this is all about. Make these people hate each other. That's what this is all about. And boy, do I got something I could send you guys.
It's not the government itself. I think it's the people that are striving for the power to run the government.
Yes. Yep. And I could send you something right now in the chat room that you guys could take 20 minutes and watch, and it would change. It would be very eye-opening for all of you. The EU had a big meeting just a couple of weeks ago with some doctors, and a whole lot of shit got talked about, and COVID was one of them. And the whole COVID thing was a bunch of bullshit. And
I heard that same thing, Bruce. What you're saying, I actually heard and I actually saw that, and it was like, okay, that was a real eye opener. It was like, okay, here, what can you actually believe nowadays?
Well, you got to find the people that that know. And you know what? I got news for you. All the networks and all these news organizations, they're all part of the problem.
Well, if you've noticed something, once they get on to a subject, it's like a dog with a bone, man. They don't let go. I mean, it's like I was saying something today that if there was something major that would happen in the world, God forbid, like for example, let's just say a volcano blew up and destroyed a whole city or a country or whatever.
What's going to happen in the Philippines next week, Jan?
Right. Or Kanalea is now, But I'm just saying, if there was some major catastrophe that happened today, all the news media would all they would do is cover Trump. That's it. They wouldn't cover anything else. I don't care. 15 people were, mowed down by a lawnmower, but today, all we're going to talk about is Trump. And then on the Cryon, they would have 15 people mowed over by a lawnmower. That would be it. And that would all you'd hear about it. But here, you turn to this show, you'll hear all about it. So next week, we'll cover stories we didn't cover this week. Can you believe it?
I understand, Bruce, and I respect your opinion. It's not you and I versus each other. I think everybody needs to shut up and meet in the middle and talk and listen. I think that's the most important point.
And with that, we're going to leave that advice, and we're going to come back next week. So we could talk about it in the room for a little while, and then if you want to stay around, we could talk about it. But for those people on social media, we're going to leave you with a cliffhanger. What happens next? All right. Anyway, remember, everything you heard today is a opinion, so do your own research. Just remember, you make it happen. Click that like button, subscribe. We're up to 355 subscribers. I think something in the neighborhood of about 40 to 70 people listen and watch the show every week, which is phenomenal. I never expected to have any more than myself listening. Of course, I have Bo listening to the show multiple times from different accounts, so that does help a little bit. Bo, I love you. I miss you. In case you're watching this.
Yeah, she didn't come with you.
No, I can't get her. I was going to leave the show like this, saying, but immigration in the United States is broken. It is absolutely broken. We could talk about that next week. We could talk about that all the time, but it's like a broken record. What the hell? Just remember, click the like button, subscribe. If you see us on social media, join the panel. It's easy to do. And once again, like I say, remember, you make it happen. Thanks everybody for being on the panel. And we will talk again next week for our 161st show. Until then, make it happen. Stay safe and stay healthy, everybody.
Thank you. I gotta go. Dinner's on the table.
Yeah, me too.